There are times in your life where you look back on bad relationships, right? And you look back on who you were or how you were as a person. On top of that, this dang truck in the back is ruining this shop. There's been a time, right? You guys look back in your past and you're just like, dang, I'm not that same person that I was 5 years ago, 2 years ago, even a year ago, right? Guys, I was 272 pounds and I was at the lowest point in my life just a year ago. Can I say today is my happiest? Yes. Yes, I could confidently say after losing, what am I? I'm 191 now, y'all. I checked my weight today. I did eat I ate 5 tacos, y'all. I made these tacos at home, carne asada tacos. I got the sour cream, the cheese, the avocado, the carne asada, and the tortilla meat. And I put cilantro on it. The onions was old, so we had to throw them out. But that's what I ate today. I ate 5 of those, y'all. Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot. So I'm gonna eat less tomorrow. I'm gonna spread out my eating times a little more because I feel like I could have done a lot better. I could have ate 3 tacos, 2 tacos, and been fine with that. I was thinking about eating a sixth, right? Because your mind lingers in that area where you just want to. You're just like, I could run it off tomorrow, or it doesn't matter. I already ate 5, right? Nah, just stop it there. Work on it tomorrow. That's how you lock in with the weight loss, for real. That's how you do it. That's how you do it, right? You just stop yourself wherever you are. If you're doing something bad for you, just stop it. Stop it then and there. Now, I got to see if this camera's good because this was a test run, but let me check real quick. All right, I'm back. So the camera angle looks good. Let's get it. Yeah, so y'all had a moment where you just look back and you're like, dang, I'm happier that I'm not the person I was whatever amount of time long ago. Then you begin to wonder, like, why did that even happen in the first place? Why was I that person? Why did I let that happen to me? And you start looking for reasons, right? You guys finding some sort of identity, but you're not gonna be the same person you were in high school as an adult. Cause I'm not. What I wanted to talk about today is that you guys need to grow your garden, right? We got to think of ourselves as this garden. You want to nurture a garden, and we want to get as much weeds out as possible. We want to get all these snails that will eat our crops out as possible. It's healthy to have that in the ecosystem because that will help out other parts. You learn, getting rid of them snails, that opens up opportunities for those plants to grow. But what I'm saying is having those snails and what they do to your garden, they're terrorizing your garden. They're eating up your crops. But that you could take it as a learning experience so you can do better next time, right? Because I feel like in life we're going to have a lot of people come and go. Whether they be a positive or a negative influence, always going to have a positive to it because you always learn something from it. You cannot take something that you experience and just think of it as something that had nothing to help you with, right? That's a very negative way of thinking. That's a very incompetent way of thinking. Because in every moment in life, right? I forgot this for a long time because I got bitter. I got bitter after high school. A lot of things happened with people I called friends, and you know, I probably save it for a story for another time. But I used to think back on those moments, right? Like I ain't had nothing to learn from that person. I ain't got nothing accomplished with that person. Everything was a waste of time. I used to think like that. That's when I was gaining weight. That's when I was 272 Clive, right? That's when Clive was big Clive, bro. Yeah, and not the Clive from the Final Fantasy, right? I wasn't bulky big. I was big and I was not taking care of myself, right? Cuz I got bitter. It didn't come to a point until I wanted to grow, and I was tired of being tired of being tired of being bitter. I was being tired of being a loser. A loser is somebody who takes their losses and their failures and their mistakes and don't grow from them and don't want to grow from them, right? Because there comes a point in your life where you got to make that decision for yourself, and you will make it for yourself because it's going to be hard, right? Sometimes it's going to be hard, especially losing that weight at the start, locking in. It was hard because I was used to eating. I was used to drinking Arnold Palmer's Gatorade. I was used to drinking vitamin water every day. Every day from 7-Eleven, I was get the biggest gulp, fill the ice all the way up, right? The biggest gulp from 7-Eleven, fill the ice all the way up, and then pour whatever vitamin water fits into there. And that was my drink, right? That I used to game with my boy TJ. This is bringing back memories, y'all. This is bringing back memories, right? But I used to game with my boy TJ on Rainbow Six Siege all the time. But yeah, sometimes you just gotta realize you gotta want to dream. You gotta want goals in this life to succeed, and it's not impossible. It is not impossible, y'all. Let me tell you, that dream that you have in your heart is not impossible. It isn't impossible. And what that ties to is growing your garden, right? Is you're gonna have people in your life, right? You're gonna have people in your life that will not grow you, right? I think that defeats the purpose, right? You guys are thinking maybe, well, didn't you say you can still learn? Yes, you're gonna still learn off of those people, but there comes to a point where you need to cut them out in order for yourself to grow. So I had a very close friend of mine, right? I used to play with this guy all the time. I used to play basketball with this time, but when you're not doing something to my level or trying to grow, then I can't be around you, right? There's different levels to it. That really is like something I don't value. You gotta strip it all down to your values. When you're growing your garden, when you are growing yourself, you gotta strip it down to the top three foundations. That's gotta be your what do you call it? That's gotta be your values, your virtue, and your goals and your dreams, right? That's four, but you could probably mix them together and they'd be circling around back to each other, right? So when you have this dream and you got people who aren't on your level, right? Cause I'm out here making money. I was doing community college, right? I was doing college at the same time of working. I'm really trying to lock in and find what I want in this life, and I can't have you in it when all you want to do is play the game every day, right? I can't do it. I can't do it. And there's nothing wrong with you as a person, but for me, I cannot have that connection with you because we just don't connect anymore, right? And that's the thing about life. You're not going to connect with a lot of people anymore when you're trying to grow. When you go through wanting something more than somebody else, there's going to be glass shards. There's going to be a breakthrough, right? And there's a lot of things are going to hurt because you're going to be like, dang, we were really close once, but we just had different paths, right? So I don't hate any of my friends that I cut off. Like a lot of my friends that I cut out and we had neutral, mutual, or we didn't even like say anything. We just fall out and we went down our separate paths. I have no hate for them because that just doesn't mean that we have the same, goals and the values that we want in this life, this dreams. So when you're growing your garden, you're going to have to cut those people out, right? You're going to have to cut people out who don't share that same dream as you, who don't want something as much as you, right? I had one of my friends, not going to get into his business much, but all he do is stay home. He don't want to do nothing. He don't want to, he say he's trying to join the Air Force like me, right? Like me, right? I went to college initially. He was going to go to the Air Force. This dude is still at home. Still at home. And I don't want to hate on people, but the reason why we had a falling out is because he's criticizing me for the same things he's doing, right? So that's just toxic, right? You got to cut out sort of that toxicity when people just trying to clown you like for living with your parents still, right? I'm 20 years old. After high school, this is after high school, right? I'm 18-year-old still working a full-time job, and this dude want to clown me for living with my parents, and I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. He doing the same thing, but he ain't working no job. He's just staying at home. He ain't going to college. He ain't learning nothing, right? I'm like, come on now. Come on. And that's why you just got to cut it out, right? Cut it out for better or for worse. You can have a conversation about it. Try to come to a understanding of each other, right? I try to understand, but when I know it's time to cut someone out, right? And like I said, those are two types of people. Type of people is somebody who just doesn't share the same vision, the same goal as you. And then there's toxic people, right? And, you can't hate anybody for that because we're all human, right? We can't hate each other. I don't want to necessarily be near that dude anymore. But do I hate him? Do I want to see him fail? No. I just don't care. I have nothing to do with his life. I wish the best for him, but I'm not going to be affiliated. I'm not going to be engaged with his life, influencing his life anymore. So it's just simple as that. That's what happens when you're trying to grow and stuff. And what happens, right, when you're growing, not only is it cutting out snails and pesticides and slugs and everything that's trying to destroy this garden, you got to build your garden too, right? So building the garden starts with you. Building your garden starts with you, y'all. So you got to be the one who wants it more. You want to build yourself into the best person possible, right? You ain't going to be perfect. Don't think that you're going to be the best Christian out here, the best faith believer in God out here, because nobody's perfect. Nobody on this earth was made perfect besides Jesus Christ himself, right? So what you do is you try to find the beauty in our flaws, and you try to grow yourself, right? Grow yourself into the best person you can be. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay because we're human. We're going to be human, and we're going to make these mistakes. It's going to happen. But you can't beat yourself up over that, and you got to just do your best to be the best version of yourself possible, right? So when you get that mindset, right, everything, the garden, mindset is just a powerful thing. Mindset could be, I'm trying to articulate what it could be to a garden. Because mindset is powerful, y'all. Mindset will get you up or down. Everything, my daddy always told me, everything is in the mind, right? Everything is in the mind. And I say this in like most of my videos, y'all, but I watch Steve Harvey. A man is how he think it. So whatever you think is what you will do and how you are, right? So if you think positive thoughts, I'll start out with this one. You think negative thoughts, you will have a negative time. You will have a negative day. You are going to be a negative person. You think positive thoughts, you are going to be a great person. You're going to have, your mood is going to be great. You are going to have positive days, positive thoughts, and thinking. And guess what? Not a lot of things can take that away from you. Not a lot. I'm sweating up in this room, y'all. I got my window closed just so this mic can capture me, y'all. I just touched my back right now. It is a little bit drenched, right? And I was never drenched like that as a kid. So that's kind of crazy, right? I was never able to sweat up until I joined football. but yeah, it's not only people. It is not only people that can ruin that garden. It is also your habits, right? The things you do in that garden. You are the garden. Think about it of a spiritual form that's roaming around in the garden walking like this. You think about Connor from Detroit Become Human, right? So when he's in that garden, right, depending on what happens, I think it was like stormy, Amanda's pissed or whatever, and if you don't find your coding in time, that RA, not RA9, but that evil Connor gonna take over and mess some stuff up, right? But your habits are what also will build or destroy a garden. If you build good habits, you will have a great garden. If you have bad habits, right, you don't want to make your bed. Making your bed is the number one thing you could do because you have already accomplished something by doing that. You said, I can make that bed, and when I get back, every time you see that bed, it look good. It look real good, and you think something subconsciously that, dang, I really get to go to sleep in a made bed every night, right? Be grateful. Being grateful is one of the biggest things when you're trying to build a mindset, right? Being grateful, because you cannot be the number one thing to destroy sadness or any negative thoughts is being grateful. God, thank you for this bed. Thank you for the car. Thank you for this home, right? I may not own this home. I may have not bought this home, but I have a home to sleep on until I get to have that and manifest that. So, right, manifestation is one of the biggest things you could do in this life, right? If you think like a millionaire and if you act like one, you are going to be one, right? If you're going to go run every day, you're a runner. You're an athlete. You're an athletic individual, right? So what I would say is just the biggest thing is changing your habits, right? Changing your habits, because I ain't going to lie. I missed the litter box yesterday, so it was 2 days again. But I'm not going to let myself go past 2 days. You want to start out slow when you're building good habits. And then slowly over time, those habits will be built better, right? Because our brain decides to choose the safest option. When you're laying in that bed, when you get off of work from your 9 to 5 job, I'm pretty sure this thing hits you in the back of your head where you want to sleep. And then later when you're trying to go to sleep, you can't sleep, right? But when you're just laying there at the most inconvenient time, right? It's just like fall asleep. But no, you gotta subconsciously and physically speak. No, I'm not gonna fall asleep. I'm getting up. You gotta get up. Cause there's one time where I was sleeping, y'all. I was sleeping, and I did not put on my retainers that night. I wasn't able to clean the. No, I actually did clean the cat litter because it was the first thing I did when I got home. Cause I ran from 7-Eleven. That was my 3 hours of sleep this week, right? Coming into Tuesday, I had 3 hours of sleep, so I went to sleep at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I got back from work. I think it was like 3 o'clock because I'm gonna go eat a little bit, right? So that's what I did, cause I didn't get that sleep behind, or I didn't get that sleep before, and that's a habit I gotta build. I gotta get some good sleep. I gotta do better on that. The last one, y'all. I want to get to this one, y'all, and this is very important. Letting in those butterflies, letting in those people who's gonna help you take care of that garden, right? Gonna water the plants with you. Gonna do a little pizzazzle, make something of you affect you. Like you're gonna see, like when you have a project you work on, right? At school, you have the person who doesn't do anything gets all the credit, right? Let's just excuse that person for a moment and discard him. But you have people working together on something that isn't necessarily all of yours, but when you guys are working together, your gardens come together, right? Your sanctuary comes together, and you start picking up things from their thing, and they start picking up things from your sanctuary, and you guys take stuff from each other. And what does that do? That helps you grow. Those are butterflies, y'all. Those are gardeners you hire, landscapers to help you build your garden, and they have a little vision on how they would do something, and you take that subconsciously with you because you might have liked that. There's going to be things you didn't like, and you just eliminate that, right? You just take what you like from them and put it in your garden. Those are the gardeners of your garden. Those are the landscapers that get hired. You know, they're not going to be there every time. My grandparents are landscapers. They retired this year. They be working on other people's garden. They do it the way they do it, and the people that hires them likes the way they do it, so they keep coming back and keep sharing this vision of how they're gonna articulate and how they're gonna make their bushes, their trees, their plants, their flowers look right. So those are gardeners, and those are landscapers that you hire, and those are people who work together in your life for your best interest, or something you could take out of that, right? For your best interest, most importantly, right? Or just being good people, right? So butterflies in your garden, right? When you have butterflies in your garden, that makes it more beautiful. And these are the people that's gonna stay with you. These are the people who's gonna stay in your life for a long time, or come and go. They will always make sure to contact you, right? One of my best friends, right? Shout out to Alani. We make the effort to message each other from time to time. She's in the Navy right now, right? She's a hella busy person, but I still make the effort to text her, and she still makes the effort to text me. We miss each other, right? We best friends. And that's what butterflies are, right? They're able to come and go. And, sometimes one will shed their cocoon and venture out to their own garden again, right? Because you're not, as a butterfly, just like the landscapers and the gardeners, you're going to be going back and forth sometimes. But that butterfly is something that will stay with you for the rest of your life, that wants this place to be as best as possible. As much as, maybe not as much as you do. Like, at the end of the day, you're going to want to have a better garden. Another person cannot want it more than you do, right? So when you have these butterflies, right? And just think about that, y'all. Butterflies are, you say, I got butterflies with this girl who talked to me, right? Like, oh my gosh, I feel good. But, right, what I mean by butterflies is they're able to make that garden shine with you together. Like, it just flows in you. When you have a garden that has the Disney little musical symbols coming out, that's when you know you're the best version of yourself you could be. and you want to get back to that. You want to maintain it, so you got to keep doing these good habits. Bring good people into your life, people who have the same vision and goals as you. Right? Not everybody will have the exact same thing, but similar goals and alignments. Right? That's what's gonna get you to being a better person, have a better foundation, a better human being. And that's what I wanted to share with y'all. I know I've been talking for a little bit right now, so we're gonna end the video here. Y'all know I love this. I love this a lot. I love talking and getting better at my speech and getting my words out there, right? So yeah, I'm gonna do this every day. I did miss a day 2 days ago, right? So I was thinking about uploading twice, but I'll see how that goes, right? I'll see how that goes. But it's your boy. It's been your boy Clive. You guys have been live on Clive on the Clive channel, on Clive's channel, right? I'm still working on a little outro, but I want you guys to have a blessed day, have a great day, and remember, God will get you what you need, when you need, now you need. Whatever it is you have now is exactly what you need to accomplish your goals. Okay, God has well equipped you, has made you well equipped to accomplish any goal, right? You might think you want that camera, that new car, new shoes and stuff. No, fam. If you have it, if you have those shoes that you need to be in the job, you already have what you need. And if you have these messed up shoes that's making your feet hang out, I remember back in middle school, one of these kids had them. God will give you new shoes. That kid got new shoes by the end of the summer, right? He was looking good going into the summer, wear that same shoes probably throughout the whole middle school. My 8th grade got cut off at the end because of COVID, so I wouldn't know, but if he still had those shoes. But he got new shoes, new Vans, and they were clean, y'all. They were clean. God will get you what you need, when you need, now you need. Whatever it is now is exactly what you need to accomplish your goals. So stay faithful, stay humble, stay down, stay hyped up, and just get ready. Go into the day with a positive attitude, and y'all got this, y'all. I believe in you as much as I believe in myself, and I believe in myself 100%. I have faith in God like no other. Well, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who have a lot of faith in God as much as me, or even more than me. I have a lot of faith in God. This is an abundance of faith. Man, it is like screaming aura, but I have that, and I believe 100%. If I put in the work, because faith without works is dead, I will get to where I need to be and where God needs me to be and where I need to serve Him. He'll get me in a position where where I'm able to serve Him, right? Whatever the goal is. He puts these dreams in your head that not a lot of people can see, but some people do see. But that is specific to you. Why you think like you have this big dream? You gotta seek it. You gotta seek it every single day, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do, y'all. I got a little things I'm working on, and you should too. You gotta work towards that dream, y'all. As long as you're alive, waking up every day, God is not done with you. So yeah, have a blessed day. Have a great day. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.